Stephen Greer, and this is the first episode of our podcast, the Dr. Stephen Greer podcast. And the reason we're starting this podcast now, rather emergently here today, is because we have a group of people who are in the process in the next 72 hours or so who will be coming forward with a great deal of information and evidence related to the UFO and NHI or extraterrestrial issue. And I want to emphasize that there are two governments dealing with this. There's the constitutional government. Most of the people in that government have no idea what's going on. Then, the other part of it is in Congress, or most people in Congress, they know nothing about the subject, even if they're on key oversight committees. So this has been something that was a shock to me. It's going to be a shock to you. It's going to be a shock to the world and the American public to find out that the constitutional government in the United States since the late 1950s have been basically pushed aside, because it's very important to understand the context of how we got from there to here. The crisis of the moment is that there are a number of people coming forward from various black sites, which are highly classified, illegally run operations in intelligence, military, and corporate programs. And those guys that I've been meeting with for about almost 2 years now, 20 months, have decided to come forward publicly, identify themselves, and in a controlled release begin to give the information to the American people and the U.S. government.
Compelled to create a permanent armaments industry of vast proportions. Now, this conjunction of an immense military establishment and a large arms industry is new in the American experience. Yet we must not fail to comprehend its grave implications. We must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. We must never let the weight of this combination endanger our liberties or democratic processes.
This will set you free, but first it'll piss you off. So whatever you think, remember this, in context of the recent drone events, all kinds of events that have been happening, whatever you think humans have in these deep black programs, these illegal black programs, it's more and it's worse. Now, the good news, now let's talk about the other side of that coin. The good news is that this a controlled and safe release of that information and technology, which is the objective of this group of defectors and whistleblowers coming out in the next couple of days, is that we could transform the world economy and civilization to where we reach what's called a level 1 civilization that Michikaku talked about, where we're no longer damaging the environment. Within 20 years, there's no poverty on the planet. There's this big leap forward for all of humanity, and it would also clean the environment. This would be, within 20 years, the biggest advancement in human history, in known recorded human history. Way more. There's nothing that comes close. I think without the context and interpretation, understanding, there'll be too many opportunities for the disclosure of this information to be manipulated, go sideways, and create all kinds of confusion, because the truth is so outrageous of what's actually happened, what the technologies are, how we have hoaxed the alien threat through propaganda and psychological warfare operations.
All right, so let's take a look at these cards. The veracity, we have the Ten of Cups, and we have distant thunder to clear the air. That tells me that these whistleblowers coming forward, yes, they are going to do this. And the point is to clear the air. You can't make that up with these cards, I tell you. Okay, who are these people? Looking at this, the one thing that I'm seeing is the coins laying all over in the front, like behind the scenes. And this gentleman's going to come forward and he's going to talk about some animals and women and children. So disclosure perhaps about activities in the past. A lot of them. clearing that air with truth, transformation, bringing that, a fresh new way of living emerges. That has to possibly do with the technology, as he was speaking about. So this is the intention. And that's a good one. What are they going to reveal? Are these cards here? We have the Ace of Pentacles, the Six of Coins, and the Hierophant. And the card that goes with this is Fogged In, sitting here next to the Hierophant, but revealing possibly the things that have been hidden by the establishment here, right? Well, not possibly. The things that have been fogged in, like, right, we have the smoke over here, you know, showing you the money, bringing forth that, sharing that. It's really clear. I don't even know if you need me to read these cards. They're so clear. All right. The impact on the public, that day is what I asked. That specific day. And you're going to get some enlightenment. Things that we didn't know are going to be revealed. This card is about embarking on a new journey and a new era and a new realm. Like I'm saying, you just can't make that up. Product of that, believing in magic. Right? We've got fairies, we've got little gnomes, we've got all kinds of mystical, magical creatures here believing in magic. Meaning opening our minds to the possibility of all of this otherness that has been fogged in the past. Well, I'm excited. Let's move on to the next question. The first thing that I want to point out is how many cards that were in the first question have come out in this reading again. This was on the bottom of the deck. This was in play, in play, in play, and in play. And you can't make that up. I mean, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards out of 7. And it's a clear message. I don't even know if you guys need me for this. It's so clear. And it's a nice message. Now, the Tower, here's the veracity of where is this going for humanity. The Tower is a complete and total restructuring. It can be a difficult change as well. Like, this is not necessarily going to be peaches and cream, but it's going to cause a lot of people to begin looking up. I thought that was funny watching the clouds. But also this, you know, a reassurance here with that lie back and rest and relax. Not to worry through this. This change has got to happen. That Phoenix card was in the first reading. The Phoenix is the Tower. It is a complete falling and coming back from the ashes. And that had to do with the Hierophant and being fogged in. So a lot of things, a lot of foundations have to come down for this new foundation to come into play. And coming into play it is. Here's the end of that foundation. And this was about the impact that it would have on humanity. That's this row. So again, a lot of endings to things. And it's not necessarily going to be an easy ride, but it will be a very positive outcome. These two cards were in the first reading, and these were the people, or this was the person, or the people that were going to be disclosing about the things that had happened. And this was the veracity of, yes, it's going to happen. But the 10 of Cups, we have 3 10s, 10, 10, and 10. And you can't make that stuff up either. Those are completion cards. And it is going to bring these blessings, this technology. The impact is going to be significant, and it's going to be positive. But foundations have got to go. This row was questioning about within the 20 years, you know, the utopia, the golden age that he spoke about this technology being able to bring to uplift the lives of humans and help us realign with living in harmony again, or possibly for the first time. Don't know quite why I said again, but the answer here is the potential of, you know, these two cards were in the first reading too. The things that we're going to learn, the things that we haven't been shown yet, the potential of those things, like he spoke about in this interview, is absolutely beyond what we can possibly imagine to come into play within 20 years. Like things that, like this is going to change so much within the next 20 years. And it brings just this positiveness of being in the flow with being in harmony, just like I said. Smooth sailing. So uplifting our lives is what I asked about. And there it is. Magic carpet ride. I'm in. I'm in. And remember about the astrology that's happening now. It's just coming up. The last time that Pluto was in Aquarius was a time period, or one of the time periods when Pluto was in Aquarius, was when the revolution of the sun being the center of the universe and crumbling that foundation of the earth being the center of the universe, changing everything. It changed everything in science, and look at how that affects us still today. Significant changes. And it's just time for this to happen. I guess get your popcorn. Don't sweat it. It's going to be okay. This is going to be positive. Enjoy the ride.